was the fact that she had hoped that one day they would be able to actually sit down and eat dinner together. That was the immaculate concept that she held for her daughter. Because at this point in time, she couldn't communicate with the daughter because she couldn't hear, the daughter couldn't see, and they actually kept her as an animal in a room. So she was eating off the floor and she was doing all kinds of things. But because the mother's immaculate concept, the highest thought that you can have about a situation or an individual, her highest thought was to be able to have her daughter sit down with her and eat dinner at the table. She found whoever she thought and did whatever she could do to help this woman, at that time the child, be able to learn how to be able to have control over herself to that degree where she could do that. But because of her immaculate concept of seeing her being able to do something other than how she appeared at the moment, the gift was given. That this woman was able to not only be taken and be able to learn how to eat at a table, but also was able to learn how to communicate with other human beings and lay down the foundation so that anybody else that took on a physical body that was not able to hear with it or see with it could still be able to be educated and to be able to learn how to communicate with those that could. So she set up a whole school system for all those that would come after her so they would not have to be at the level that she was. And so, that is fantastic. And it was only because of the individual's willingness not to give the illusion and anything that is not being willing to see the perfection of a particular state is illusionary vision. Her mother not giving insight into the illusion that was presented before her was able to be the foundation for which that was created. Everybody got that? So when you give into what appears to you, and especially when you don't want that, that's all you're going to get. You're locked into the vibration, you're locked into the experience, and all it can do is continue to reflect and mirror that back to you. When you're willing to see that this is an aberration relative to itself and to see it as it could be, then because you sent that out into the universe, again, that's what has to come back to you. Okay, now if you're listening closely, now I'm giving you all the keys here to these relationships. Okay. Non-attachment.
All right. The next universal law that we want to deal with is non-attachment or detachment. What we have it here is non-attachment. As air moves freely through the atmosphere and the earth moves freely on its axis, so we as humans should move freely through all of our affairs. When we allow things to flow freely, and often there's a term, getting in the flow. You've heard that. Getting in tune. Okay. Flow freely in our lives. It gives us the maximum benefit to experience the event to its full capacity. If we look at this law from an energetic perspective, we know that energy requires free movement in order to function effectively and efficiently. The universe wants the energy to flow freely through us. When it does, it benefits us and all who come in contact with it. Whenever we interfere with this free flow of energy, we reduce proportionately the abundance that we experience. Now, I would like to just say something in terms of the flow. I want picture a riverbed, if you would, which is a structure by which water finds its course on a particular land base, right? The purpose, when we look at, as we will get into later on in today's workshop, purpose of a relationship and dealing more specifically with the individual aspects of union. Part of the purpose of a relationship is to reveal to us what we value. Not what we think we value, but what we value. Because what you have, as Dr. Jude has been saying all morning, what you see in your life is a mirror of what? Okay. So who you find with you is a mirror of, okay, and wherever you are at a given time.
We should see these faces. They can't say it. It's hard. But by the time the workshop is over, you'll be able to say it. This is the only way out, I'm telling you.
So what I'm saying is, you know, if you ask most people and you say, well, you know, what do you want? Well, you know, sister will say, and I'm not beating on y'all because I'm gonna come to the brother. Sister will say, well, I'd like for him to be working, to have a job. Hello. Consistently. I would like for him to be sensitive and compassionate. Yes? Now, you know, a lot of sisters will find a brother who's sensitive, compassionate, and they'll be missing something. Hello? Heaven high, hell is low, but heaven is high. Because oftentimes, what we say we want is not necessarily what we really want. Okay? Because when you say sensitive, that's kind of generic. You have to be more specific. As specific as we are being about the definition of these laws, you have to be specific. So when you make your list for Mr. or Ms. Right, be specific. And the only way that you can really be specific is by knowing more about you.
And you be that.
Yeah. You can only have what you're first willing to be. So a lot of times, well, what's happened? Nothing too much because I'm working on me. Because I know what I want, and I got to get me there first.
That's right.
Before she can appear. So is a man or woman thinking. I'm learning. I'm liberated, sister, because I'm not going anywhere without my sister. She is the door and the future. As a matter of fact, Sister Jewel has something in here. It's interesting. I got to say this. Now, you see, it looks like we just went and hooked this up. Yeah. I didn't know what she was going to wear. She didn't know what I was going to wear. I asked her, you know, just because, you know, you're doing something. And, you know, I've done workshops by myself, but you work with somebody, you want to, you know. And then found out yesterday as we were meeting about everything else in the world. And she just said, as a matter of fact, oh, look at the universe. Look at it. I can't even believe it. The brother's got the same color as I have. You know what I'm saying? And I said, oh, that's deep. That is serious. So if you're looking for signs, what have we been saying all morning? The universe will what? If you're on, you will be? You will be? Come on. What's the word? It's an S word. You will be?
Supported.
Supported. Supported. Well, a lot of you sisters saying you're not being given from us. We don't support you enough. That's why sometimes, you know, when you look at the sister in this environment, in this part of the planet, she's often, you know, some people refer to her as Mary or Hagar in the wilderness with a child and no man around. But I say the universe is what has been supporting you all along. In that midnight hour, when there was nobody to lean on or call on, who did you go to?
Is this really true? It's people are having barbarisms here. Their stomachs are growling.
Well, we want to support the nourishing of the body. The moment it's lunchtime.
Okay.
All right, so let me just wrap this non-attachment up. When anything you attach yourself to, be it a feeling about someone, letting go of resentment, not letting go, or re-seeing something that happened to you over and over again, it will eventually cause you a dis-ease, right? Holding on to a negative emotion or feeling will cause you a dis-ease. The universe says, let go and let God. When you think about the law of non-attachment, other definitions are here in the manual for you to read. Just remember, let go and let God.
And one more thing. Because, you know, I just really want them to have this global picture. is that you also have to ask